What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD PHINS TALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Here we are live here just after noon. Yeah, here we are, almost 12:30, man. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. We got a few things to talk about. Guess what? I have found our path to the playoffs. Well, let me say this. I found our most realistic path to the playoffs. It's still tough, but I found our most realistic path to the playoffs. So get ready for that. And also talking about the remaining schedule. We're going to break into that as well, because obviously, even to have that chance, you're going to have to win out, okay? All right, so before we get into that, just know that this stream is being powered by Sleeper. Take advantage of a $100 deposit up to $100 using code TD PHINS. All right, supporting our sponsors is supporting the channel. Sleeper will take care of you. If you like your player odds and all of that type of stuff, man, you get into it on Sleeper. Also, fantasy football is on Sleeper as well. Take advantage of that. And here's the deal. You get that $100 deposit match up to $100, but if you're skeptical or you're not sure about depositing yet, guess what? They're giving you a $20 entry, no deposit required. You get to play, see how you like it, and then you decide, all right? All right, man, I see people coming in the building. Make sure you chime in. I'm going to get these things done because we have Fourth and Forever that we're going to be doing at 1 o'clock, all right? So I got about 30 minutes, and I'm going to hit two topics. Number one is going to be the postseason odds, and number two, the remaining schedule. So let's break it all down right here on TD PHINS Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, all right? I hope everybody's having a great day today, because I am. Why? Because I have found the most realistic path for the Miami Dolphins to actually make the playoffs. No cap. All right, nobody wants to hear about the Dolphins making the playoffs. I get it, because you don't believe. It's, the odds are slim. It's less than a 1% chance. But I can tell you now, there is a path, a realistic path. I found paths, but it has a whole bunch of non-favorite teams beating the favorite team. But I have found the most realistic path. Okay? Realistic. Why? Because there's a reason why it could happen. Okay? All right. And that's why we have less than 1% chance, because it's tough. It's tough. We have a less than 1% chance, but here's what has to happen for the Miami Dolphins to make the playoffs. So let me count how many things. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. 12 things have to happen, okay? But these 12 things, some of them come in bunches. What do I mean by that? The first 4 things that need to happen is the Dolphins need to win out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? We need to win out. That's obvious, right? So we're going to go down from 12 to 8. We're going to go from 12 to 8 because those 4 are because the Miami Dolphins need to win out. Point, period, blank, okay? We need to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to talk about that game. We need to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to talk about that game. We need to beat – who is our third game? Y'all, give me a second. I got it right here. We need to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to talk about that. And last but not least, in the last week of the season, we need to beat the New England Patriots, who could – we're going to talk about that, okay? So, again, there are 12 things that have to happen. 4 of those 12, Miami need to win out. So there are 8 additional things that need to happen. Now, we're about to subtract another 4 because this is what has to happen, but it could happen, and I'm going to explain the circumstance. We need the coach to lose all 4 of their games. We need the Indianapolis Colts to lose all 4 of their games. Now, oh, man, they're a good team. Well, guess what? They play the Seahawks this week. Seahawks should be the favorite by far. You know the coach quarterback situation. This is realistic. The Colts, remember, the Colts don't have a quarterback. And they've got Phillip Rivers, old man Rivers. Okay? So Seattle, yes, they play a great team. They're probably going to lose that. Then the Colts play the San Francisco 49ers, another good team. Yes, they could really lose that game. Then they play a division rival who's on fire, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, without a quarterback and old man Rivers, they could definitely lose that game. In the last week of the season, they play the red-hot, fiery defense of the Houston Texans. They could lose that game. So we went from 12 down to 8 because the Dolphins need to handle their business, down to 4 because the Colts might go on 4 down the stretch. I'm not saying they will. They might. I don't know, but I'll take those. I'll take them against. I'll take that because they won't be a favorite in none of those games. I will take that because they will not be the favorite in none of those games. So that brings us down to the last 4 things that need to happen. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell y'all up front. I ain't going to save it for the end. 3 of them are realistic. The last one is a hope and a prayer, but we'll talk about it, okay? We're going to break it down. Here are the last 4 things that need to happen. The first thing that needs to happen, the Patriots need to beat the Buffalo Bills this week. The Patriots got to beat the Buffalo Bills this week. They've already done it once this year, so it is realistic. It could happen. The Buffalo Bills have to lose to the Patriots, okay? Oh, I'll disclose that at the end. All right, so that's number 1. The Buffalo Bills got to lose to the Patriots. It's possible. They already beat them, okay? And the Patriots are at home, okay? So let's see how that goes. This week, we're rooting for the Bills to lose to the Patriots. Does New England have one more in them against a division rival? We shall see, all right? Here's the next one, okay? Denver has to beat Kansas City next week. All that other stuff, it don't matter what happens. You know, all the other games and stuff. Denver got to beat Kansas City next week. They can do that. Kansas City ain't been as bad as we have. Kansas City ain't looking hot and Denver looking great. That's likely. Okay? Here's the third thing that needs to happen, which is also possible. Let me pull it up here. Philly has to beat the Buffalo Bills. It's the defending Super Bowl champs, man. Listen, that's going to be a good game, but they can. We know Hurts coming off a bad game, but every time he had bad games, then he start having good ones. This team is always up and down. This is a strong possibility. So, Dolphins win out. Colts lose out. Buffalo lose to the Patriots. Denver beats Kansas City next week. The Eagles beat Buffalo. That's in the week after that. Eagles beat Buffalo. And here's the last thing that need to happen. And we in the playoffs. This is the one that's like, oh, man, the last hope. Our last hope. Our last hope. You ain't going to believe what it is. I can't even say it. Oh, but it's, hey, you know what? It's possible, but it ain't a good possibility. All right, man, let me give it to y'all, man. The Jets got to beat the Buffalo Bills in the last week of the season. The Jets got to beat the Bills. And the Dolphins are in. That is the path for the Miami Dolphins, the most realistic path I can find. That's why it's less than 1%. The most realistic path for the Dolphins to make the playoffs. We got to win out. The Colts got to lose out. Buffalo got to lose 3 of their last 4. And those 3, and remember, now here's the kicker here. That's me predicting that the Bills, that's even me predicting the Bills will beat the Browns in week 16. Now, who do y'all think have a better chance? Do you think the Jets have a better chance of beating Buffalo in Buffalo? Or would you pick next week Buffalo on the road to Cleveland? Which one do you think is the better chance? Let me know in the chat. Which one do you think is the better? Because you can swap those. You can swap those. If the Bills do beat the Jets, then Cleveland need to beat the Bills at home. So we'll know next week if things are going this way. If we're taking care of business, the Colts are losing. If the Patriots beat Buffalo, right then and right there, like we're coming into next week saying Denver beat KC and Browns, come on. See, Browns will give us credit. It could be either or. I just thought the division rival game would be tougher, but you know what? I might actually flip this around and go with the Browns at home with a good defense and Shedeur Sanders. I don't know. But that's what we're dealing with. That's the path. I mean, we already know the Dolphins got to win out. But it's 2 teams that are the easiest path for us, and that's Buffalo and the Colts. The Colts falling flat on their face, and Buffalo losing 3 out of the last 4. Again, Buffalo plays the Patriots, possible. They play the Eagles, possible. And can the Jets or the Browns shock the world? Can the Jets or the Browns shock the world? That's the path for the Miami Dolphins to get into the playoffs. There you have it. Now, there are some other crazy paths. Like I literally got to add another 8 things that need to happen, and they're all bad teams beating the good team. I just found the most realistic path, which means I went through and I obviously put all the Dolphins winning games. I looked at the Colts situation, which obviously would be the easiest path. And then I played with the simulator, and it came down to, I kept noticing when I picked the games, honestly, I had Philly beating Buffalo late. I have the Patriots beating them again. I said, oh man, they're only 1 game away from us getting in. That's the easiest path. And that also means Buffalo will miss the playoffs and the Colts would miss the playoffs if that went down that way. If it went down that way, both would miss the playoffs. So take it how you want it, but I will say this is the most realistic, and it's not far-fetched because the Colts situation is so realistic. They're in trouble. 4 playoff contending teams they got to play without a quarterback, new situation. They're in trouble. That's real. That could possibly happen. Now, you know the craziest part about all of this? In my entire life, being a Dolphins fan, that's all I've been. In the National Football League, I've only loved my team, the Dolphins. We have had so many. Well, if they lose, we win, and then we do this and that and that. We have had so many seasons like this where we're calculating at the end how to get in. You want to know what I've learned about every single one of those specific seasons? We never even take care of our own business. Be honest, that's the conclusion. What I've learned from all of those years of, yeah, man, we can get in if this happened and that happened. We never even take care of our own business. The path is laid out. Take care of your own business. That's just the start. Can the Dolphins do it? We shall see. Speaking of taking care of their own business, the Miami Dolphins have 4 games left. And let's briefly talk about those 4 games. All right, Dolphins got 4 games left. If there's any life of getting in the playoffs, I think we all know at this point, we got to take care of our own business, okay? That starts on Friday with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not Friday, I'm saying Monday. I'm saying Friday. Monday with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is going to be a prime time game, ladies and gentlemen. And being that it's going to be a prime time game, one of the caveats to this game that's pretty brutal is that we are going on the road versus a playoff contending team. And not only that's one game above us, by the way, but not only are we going on the road versus a playoff contending team, we are also going to be playing in what is believed at this point to be 22-degree weather during the game and getting colder as the night goes on. That's what we will be dealing with on Monday at 8:15 p.m. versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we know the Pittsburgh Steelers, they are a up and down team. You never know what you're going to get. You know they're good. You know they're coached well, but they blow opportunities at times, but they also take advantage of opportunities at times as well. This is the epitome of a mid team that is good, but not good enough to be good enough, but they are in the echelon of threat, what you would consider a threat in any given Sunday. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-3 at home, a winning record, but not crazy impressive. But the problem is the Dolphins are 2-4 on the road, which just isn't good. All right. And it also came out today that as of right now, the Miami Dolphins have had the 3rd easiest schedule in the NFL this season. And the top 5 teams of easiest schedule, 4 of them are already, 4 of them are already in the playoff picture. And the Dolphins are the only ones who aren't, which means we haven't even taken advantage of the easier schedule that we've had over the most of the NFL. But in this game, a lot of people are having the Pittsburgh Steelers as a 3-point favorite. Now, we know the home team usually starts out with the -3, with 3 points. So it's kind of the way I look at it, they view this game as more even than anything. Okay. Tua Tagovailoa, he's obviously going to have to play excellent football in this game. One of the league leaders in turnovers with 14 interceptions this season and only 18 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, who's dealing with the injured hand, 20 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. This season, these 2 quarterbacks have had similar stats other than the fact that Aaron Rodgers has not turned the ball over as frequently as Tua Tagovailoa has. The completion percentage is almost the same as well. Where the Miami Dolphins obviously blow the Steelers out of the water is simply the run game. We have a leading rusher who has almost 2 times the amount of yards as the Steelers' leading rusher in Jay Warren. Also, same thing applies, not particularly in the details, but Waddle is going to be the best receiver on the field. Yes, there's DK Metcalf. He's a great receiver, but this season he hasn't been as productive and not as productive as Jalen Waddle, who's holding on to 818 yards right now. DK Metcalf, 753. This has been, two offenses that have had their up and downs and their struggles. We already know on the defensive side of the football, the Pittsburgh Steelers have TJ Watt. Just a threat that you always have to be worried about. Sack total a little down this year with 7, but he is a threat at all times, especially with an O-line who's been playing a lot better, but they're more suited for run blocking than pass blocking. They've still been solid in pass blocking, but when you get a guy like TJ Watt, you just got to make sure, okay? And obviously on the Dolphins side of the football, Bradley Chubb leading the way with 6.5 sacks this season. You look for Chop Robinson to maybe step up. Those defensive tackles playing excellent right now. Kenneth Grant, not as well as the other guys like Jordan Phillips and company. But, this is, I'll just put it like this. This team is it's like even. They're even. They're even across the board to me. We just have the edge in the run game. I think they may have the edge in the secondary, but we're good in the secondary as well. So this is going to shape up to be a very good game. I'm going to go ahead and give you all my prediction right now. Why not? I'm going to let you know that the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins – I don't want to give y'all my prediction right now, but I just told y'all I would. Man, oh man. This is tough. Here's what I'll say. I am looking forward to the Miami Dolphins going out and surprising us and winning this game, shocking us and giving us real hope, right? But just conventional wisdom, the Steelers ink this game out with a field goal at the end. I can't get past 22 degrees and as low as 15 with the team at home that it's nothing to them. They're used to it. Around this time of year, it's every week for them, whether it's home or on the road. They just left a game, a blizzard in Buffalo, the Buffalo game. No, it wasn't Buffalo. Who did they just play? Let me see. It was Baltimore. They just left that game at Baltimore and won it on the road in the cold. So I can't even pick the Miami Dolphins to win this game if I'm going to be honest and not just be all fandom giddy. But I promise y'all I'm going to be on this one intently, hoping that our Dolphins can shock us. Ready for the excitement of a surprise. But I got the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one 24-23 over the Dolphins with a game-winning field goal. This game is going to be brutal. Every possession is going to matter. And can the Dolphins get the W? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. But it's possible. But you know what it's going to take? It's going to take a perfect game from the Dolphins. You're going to need to see a Dolphins who's rushing for 200 yards. You're going to see Waddle get about 100 yards in this game. Tua to be like 22 of 27, and throw for 248 yards, somewhere around that. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, or 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's what you're going to need. That's what you're going to need to win this game. Can we do that? Y'all let me know what you think. You let me know, because as good as the defense has been playing, I don't care about that when you go up against a guy like Aaron Rodgers. He knows everything you about to do. He knows everything your defense is about to run. It's just a matter of, can his offensive personnel around him adjust with him? And another factor not anybody's talking about, they got even more of an inside scoop. You don't think Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey singing like a hummingbird? All right, look out for this. This is what they do on that. He's this, so you don't have to worry about that. You put an island on this. You can do that. They humming like a bird. They want to get to the playoffs. These veterans, they want to get to the playoffs. They telling you everything you need to know about the Miami Dolphins. So I can't. I'd be lying to you and trolling. Okay. So there you have it. That is my game prediction for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Miami Dolphins. But let's move forward because I don't want to run out of time today. All right, let's move forward. So the next week, the game, the Dolphins play the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, here's what's very interesting. Here's what's interesting. I simulated a lot of stuff. The Bengals got a few paths to get in. The Bengals have a few paths to still get in. And I'm talking about definitely better than ours. They're not giving up, ladies and gentlemen. They are not giving up. Unless they lose this week to Baltimore, they are not giving up. They're not giving up. And if they beat Baltimore this weekend, even more reason why they're focused. Because if they beat Baltimore this weekend, they're only one game behind them. They're focused. That's going to be a tough game for us. But we got to win it. We got to win it. We got to figure it out. We got to figure out a way to get them because they're going to put up points. I don't care nothing about how good our defense been playing. Everybody who got a good defense still getting 30 thrown up on them at least by the Bengals. It's just a matter of can you throw up 30? And the run game ain't going to – I don't know. Is the run game alone going to throw up 30? Maybe he might even need 40. I'm just saying. We underestimate how brutal – we literally underestimate how brutal the rest of our schedule is. Pittsburgh in a do or die moment. Bengals still got life crawling out of the grave, like in realistic life. Tough work, man. Tough work. But we gotta win. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. And I don't even got to explain much about the Bengals. Everybody knows who they are and as advertised. As advertised. But moving on to the next week, the Dolphins have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, here's the crazy thing about the Bucs as well. We're talking about yet another team who's fighting for their playoff life. And they're at the top of their division right now. Now, being at the top, they're tied with Carolina, but every game matters for them. They're at the top, but tied only because, and they got the same division record. The only reason, if I'm not mistaken, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the tiebreaker, I think more so was the head-to-head matchup, which let me verify. Tampa playing the Panthers at the Panthers. Even crazier. They haven't even played the Panthers yet. They got to play the Panthers twice in the last 3 weeks, and we're sitting in the middle of their drama. It's the Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers. We're in the middle of their drama of who's going to win the division and have a home game in the first round. You don't think you're going to get the tip-top very best of them? Yeah, they just lost to the Saints, Glenn, but once again, look at the I'm talking about the circumstance. I'm talking about playing the Panthers, the Dolphins, and then the Panthers again. You lose to the Panthers the first time, they really got to get it. You beat the Panthers, you really got to get it so they don't catch up. It's the worst scenario for us. But there we go. Pittsburgh, dire situation. There we go. Bengals literally have the division in their hand, coming from behind potentially. Well, at least being in the replacing Baltimore to get in the playoffs. Then you got the Bucs in a must-win situation. It's brutal. And last but not least, the New England Patriots. Now, this is a loaded one because the Patriots got 2 tough games and 2 favorable games, us being a favorable one as well. But what you want to bank on here is them potentially resting their starters for the rest of the season. But the problem is the next 2 weeks are going to be the real storyteller here. Can you beat Buffalo and the Ravens and then beat the Jets and actually legitimately rest your starters? Because Denver got held too. Denver got a schedule that they got to deal with too. But with Denver keeping up with the pace, the Patriots are going to win every single game. Going to want to win every single game. And we got to deal with one of the best teams in the league, at least by record, but they've been playing great football. Good defense, good offense, moving forward. Next win. Longest streak in the NFL. This is what we got to deal with. These are the 4 games that we have left on our schedule. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the remaining games left on the schedule. And we got to take care of our own business first. Thank y'all for tuning in to TD Phins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I'm about to get some of the super chats in, and then I'm going to get up out of here because we're headed over to 4th and Forever to talk more NFL football. The Jonah showing love said the Chargers are going to lose their last 4 games. Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, and Broncos. That's our only path. You saying the Chargers losing every game was our only path? I'm not sure about it. I thought I put in the system them losing their last 4 games, and we still weren't in. But I'll double check that because that's what made me actually go check it because somebody told me that. But I put it in a simulation, and that's not the case. Well, here's another thing you got to consider. Chargers losing their last 4 games has them out. But it also elevates another team, if I'm not mistaken. It elevates a team that's on the cusp, and I think it's another team that would get in. I'll double check it, though. I'll look. If there's another path, then I'll make sure I bring that to y'all attention as well, okay? All right, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here, but a few more. You weren't wrong about the delusional fans. I try not to be wrong, man. I just try to get it right, and if I'm not, admit it. Realistically, 2 interceptions for Tua, 24-14 Steelers. Yeah, that'll be bad. That'll be a bad way for him to cap off his season so far, messing up in this game. You know, I'm bracing myself. I keep waiting on Tua to actually have one of those good games where we're all like, oh, okay. You know, and maybe I'm just dead wrong for even thinking that. Yeah, so anyway, love y'all, appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. Sounds like 6-11. No, we'll see. Dolphins will figure out a way. I don't know if they will, but we'll see. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get up out of here. I'll see y'all on 4th and Forever. Peace. I'm out.